Ohio State drops the ball against Purdue. Penn State drops the ball again against Iowa. It is nice that Iowa is a friendly story. They might make the BCS National Championship game. They're getting a push. But these teams just win the Big Ten, go to the Rose Bowl, and get smashed by USC. The conference is just falling off the map. They got to be the worst conference in the BCS.
Fair enough. Scariest, I know it's Halloween, scariest BCS scenario that could happen.
Scariest BCS scenarios, if Texas loses before the Big 12 championship game, that is against Oklahoma State or A&M, probably their two toughest games. Let's say Florida and Alabama are undefeated and have to play the SEC championship game before the BCS national championship game. Those two teams are by far the best teams in the nation. So one of them gets stripped of the chance to play the national championship game. I say forget the SEC championship game, make that the BCS national championship game. My scariest scenario is if those two teams are undefeated and one of them doesn't make the national championship game.
Sticking with that not making the national title game thread, what about ones if Texas loses, Florida loses, Alabama loses, and Iowa loses? Ones with the only two undefeated teams are Boise State and TCU. Are they going to put those two teams in the title game instead of a one-loss USC, a one-loss Texas? This is what could ultimately destroy the BCS if these two teams are forced to play in the BCS title game this year. Any chance
USC can make it if the teams in front of them lose, or if they don't lose?
I absolutely think they can. I mean, they're going to play Oregon in 2 weeks. If they win that game, it's another high-quality win. And they lost early, which is the main thing in the BCS. You lose early, you win out, you play strong at the end, you have a chance. And I think they have a great chance. They're a big story. They're going to bring a lot of fans. They're going to sell a lot of tickets. USC is a big draw.
The biggest problem with that is it's at Oregon, Altson Stadium, extremely tough to play in Eugene, Oregon. But if they can win that game, I do agree USC could be in the national championship game.
Good points. Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, we have to take a commercial break, but don't go anywhere because when we get back, Mike Feldman is on set with Eric Kendall and making his one-on-one sports season debut, Adam Constantine, to preview the NBA season. We'll be right back.
Passing gas in the presence of others is not only inappropriate,
That is so foul.
it can be deadly. Passing gas releases a fog of carbon monoxide
Grandpa,
and other poisonous fumes that can contribute to asthma and pneumonia.
you're killing us over here.
Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
Here at 101 Sports, we were having some problems with organization, so we decided to bring in Elon Club baseball pitcher Aaron Mosier to help us out.
It's not working. Hey, can we get him another mic?
Hey, Aaron, grab me that mic.
We're gonna need another mic.
Welcome back to One-on-One. I'm joined by our resident experts, Eric Kendall and Adam Constantine, to finally talk a little basketball. Guys, a lot of big things happened this offseason, a lot to look forward to. What are you guys looking forward to most this season?
Well, you said it right there, big things this offseason. It's the offseason acquisitions that were made across the board, mostly the contenders, picking up some big pieces. Shaq to the Cavs, Rasheed Wallace to the Celtics. You even go down Andre Miller to the Blazers, which I think is going to be a big one. They're not being talked as contenders, but I think he makes them contenders. That's what I'm looking forward to. These guys are big-time players being added to already established teams.
Let me tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to those new additions too, especially Rasheed and Artest, and how they are going to single-handedly destroy those teams. They don't work well with people when they can't be the man. Well, if Artest is not going to be the man,
Adam,
he's not going to work well.
These guys have been playing for a long time. They know what it takes to win.
But
you've seen their championship atmosphere.
I mean, but their attitudes have not been championship caliber attitudes. They're not all of a sudden going to change just because everybody else says that they're going to win a championship.
Does Rasheed Wallace not have more rings than everyone else on his team?
Because he was the man on that team, but he's not the man anymore.
Okay, well, see, the thing is, I think when you get put in a situation, in an atmosphere which is winning, like Artest and Rasheed Wallace, you're going to shape up, you're going to become part of the team, and because you want to win. Everyone wants to win.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have mentioned a lot of scary players. So my next question is, which NBA player would you dress for Halloween?
I would dress as Shaquille O'Neal, not just because I could be 7'1" for a day. That would be cool. But it's like taking your kid trick or treating, your kid LeBron, having your kid get all the candy, championships, and then bringing them home and being able to eat some of that candy, which Shaq will be able to do. If LeBron can take that team to a championship, Shaq's going to reap all the benefits.
Well, I'm going to be Kobe. I might have the height and build, so I can pull that off. And I'm only going to wear 4 articles of clothing: 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2009. Championships.
Kobe.
4 of them on his hands. That's what I'm going as.
Well, guys, definitely 2 giants of the game, and people, might be scary for the opponent. So, my next question is, which NBA player scares you the most this upcoming season?
Well, for me, it's Rasheed Wallace. Not just because he looks scary. He's a kind of scary-looking guy. But with the Celtics, having him in their starting 5, or if he's coming off the bench, having that guy add to who they already have when you talk about Rondo and Pierce and Allen and Garnett, it's scary to me how good they can be if the injury bug doesn't bite anyone else, particularly Garnett.
Everybody seems to forget how Shaq and Kobe worked so well together and won those 3 championships in a row. Shaq is now with LeBron James, who is 25 years old and doing what most people will never do in the NBA in their whole career. I mean, it is basically a new version of Shaq and Kobe, but with better chemistry.
But you're saying Shaq's not out of his prime?
No, no. Shaq is with somebody who is now in his prime. Shaq does not need to be in his prime because LeBron James is going to do most of the heavy lifting, and when there needs to be some extra weight carried, Shaq's definitely going to be there to pull the load. Shaq has changed his mindset from being the man, like Rasheed Wallace hasn't, but now he is going to take that back seat, play when he's needed until they win that championship come in 2010 June.
I think we can all agree that Shaq is definitely a villain to the opponent. So